So we now have longitude and latitude as a group, and we're going to go ahead and save this. Alright, so it's saved. Now if I go to create content, and chances are I would allow anyone who's a regular user to create content. Actually, for this site, at this point, we probably don't want to have some of these other things like book page and that sort of thing. So let's go back to administer, content management, content types. And we're going to get rid of some of these. We're going to delete the book page, delete it. We're going to delete the story, delete. Why won't it let us delete the poll or delete the blog entry? Well, because we've published a poll in a blog entry, so it says we can't really delete those because we have those types already out there. So for now, we'll go ahead and leave these 4 types. And now if we go to create content, we can create a new one called place. And when we get here, it will say, what's the place? And we'll say Starbucks and 2850 Broadway, New York 10025. I'm not really sure if that's it. We probably should have fixed that so it was caps on both, but longitude, I have no idea. Negative 45, 38. How's it? 38. I have no idea where this is. I probably should have checked before I did it. 36.2. This is probably out in the ocean somewhere. I'm just guessing. I saw too many people with Bluetooth devices here. Okay. I've still got some odds and ends here. I can save it. And now I have a new thing that's been created. And if I look here at the front page, it's actually pushed this up to the front page. Let's go ahead over to Administer, Site Building, Views. And we're going to, right now we have some views that are built in. Things like recent comments, or archive, or front page. These are good views to have. But I'm going to create, well, we could actually enable the front page one. So, so we now have the front page enabled, and we can take a look at that. Let's edit it. Now this is starting to look a little more complex. We're going to make this bigger. I don't know why I'm making you look at it small in the first place. This is a little closer to the way it'll look on yours. This looks really complicated and scary, but it really doesn't have to be. What it says is that we have both page and feeds and default views and some basic settings for what we're going to display. Okay. Now it's useful at this point to talk a little bit about what the views are views of. And we are going to be looking at views as kind of a way of listing the content on the site. Let me give you an example of another site that's using views. For example, this is a site that it's called DML Central. And if we look here at all the content, the See All, this gives us a listing of all the content on the site. And actually each of these is a view. So it's not a node, it's a listing of nodes we can go to. So we can go to this, and this is actually a node. But this is kind of a way of listing out the nodes. And in this case, we're listing it by the type of node. And so to create a page like this, you need to be able to come up with lists. And view is really a way of doing that. So if you look here right now, it says the row style is node. So if we produce something using this, it will actually show it as kind of the node. And in fact, by default, it's going to show it, it's going to display links to those with a teaser. And so it will look something like this. It'll show, here's one and here's another. That's all it's showing, right? So we could instead change it to a different style. Instead of node, we can change it to fields. And we can then say update. And then right now we don't have any fields defined, but we can add a field. And what are we going to add? We'll add the, what are the things that we want to list? Well, there's a whole bunch of things we could list. But let's say we're just going to do a list of things by their longitude and latitude. So we'll list the longitude and the latitude. And we probably, that's not enough, we probably want to list the title, but not the comment title, the node title. Node title. So we'll have those three things. And then we can save. It's already saved. So now we have the longitude and the latitude and the title. Now we actually do want to change the order here. We want it to be title first. So let's go ahead and drag that up to the top. So title, longitude, latitude, looks good. This is a quick display of what it shows. Title, longitude, latitude. In this case, flash rules. Wait a second. Longitude, latitude. Obviously these things, the flash rules and the other thing, these aren't what we're looking for at all, right? We're only looking for things that are place. So one of the things we want to do is, right now it's only showing things promoted to the front page and published. We want to add another filter. These are filters that says these are the things that it's going to show in this display, and it's adding those things. One of the other things we want to change is the node type. So we're going to add a new filter, and what this says is it has to be a place. So this actually gives you an idea of what Views is doing in the background. This is a SQL query. It's going to the database and writing all this code for you to kind of pull these nodes out of the database. But what we've said is, okay, we want a node that's published to the front page, that's published at all, promoted to the front page, published at all, and it has to be a place. And now if we save this, you'll see right now we only have one place node, so it's not very exciting. It's just the place node, and all we have is the Starbucks one. Now this isn't pretty yet. We could make it prettier. We can make it prettier in a number of ways. We could set it up for paging. By default, you'll see that it says now items for page 10. If we had hundreds of them, it would add a pager, so it says page 1, page 2, page 3, and you can click through them, for example. There's lots of little bits and pieces we can do here, and what we can't do here, we can always do by going to our style, our CSS, and making it look pretty. So when we go back to that example I just showed you, sure, it's producing the lists in here, but the display part of it, remember we're separating out content from display, the presentation is still done in CSS. So basically those two modules are very helpful. You can build any combination of things by presenting the content as nodes or presenting it in lists using the view module. Again, there's lots of modules we could add in. When we get back to the very end of the course, in the last module when we start to talk about mashups and using other services, I'll come back and load in that Gmaps module and see if we can do a little bit more than just showing the longitude and latitude or telling you what it is, and see if we can actually include maps. But for now we've got kind of the basics. These are the basic building blocks. Obviously not enough here to completely build what you want to build, but you're getting very close. You've got all the tools at hand. It's just how to apply them to create a good model for all of the content that you want to present. All right, let's talk about making it prettier in the next one by talking a little bit about themes, and then we'll be done with Drupal for now. Thanks.